What is going on, my people? You already know what it is, man, and it's your boy, Codename Agent. Who? Danger, god damn it. And check it out, man. For this video, I wanted to give you guys another look at some of the new content that will be coming in the next update. Now, before we dive into it, I gotta let y'all know that anything you see here is subject to change. Listen to me carefully. Anything you see here is subject to change when the update goes live next Tuesday, rolling into Wednesday, so presumably February 12th. However, I had a lot of you guys hitting me up on Discord with a couple questions, so I wanted to do a dedicated video answering a couple of those questions. So without further ado, let's get right to it, man. So first and foremost, y'all seen the uniforms. They look spectacular, and some of you guys want to go ahead and start working on some of the uniform options associated with these uniforms. So for this video, I wanted to give you guys a list of all of the uniform options that you're gonna need if you want to get the most out of these characters. I know y'all want to see the Cosmic Skull, the Iron Savage, you know what I'm saying, the Hero Killer, you know what I'm saying, finally put in some work in Future Fight. So let's get to it, man. They actually blessed us this time around with a couple mythic uniforms, so I didn't have to do too much work or any work at all for Red Skull. So I'm gonna show y'all the uniform options here, and he actually has some pretty good options, partner. So check it out, man. For Cap, we have Endgame. Sorry, for Red Skull, we have Cap Endgame, right? Figure it out. Then we have Moon Girl. This is the best uniform for Moon Girl, but it's not necessarily a great uniform, right? Definitely makes her much better, but it's not one I would say you absolutely must buy. However, for this stat right here, this is where you're gonna put physical attack, right? So yeah, you probably want to buy that. Okay, moving on, we have Storm. This is the best uniform for Storm, so someone you should probably invest in. I like Storm. I like this uniform, right? Then we have Endgame Iron Man. You know what I'm saying? Tony 3 stacks in the building. Definitely would recommend you guys pick up this uniform, right? Moving on, we have Cable X-Force. Not the best uniform for Cable, but it's definitely a great uniform. So someone you might want to pick up a uniform for. So I would say not a bad idea. Okay, moving on, we have Captain Hydra, Hydra Supreme, Captain America in his Hydra uniform, whatever you want to call him. I have a couple questions actually in regards to Cap. One, he's now a villain. Two, he has lost the leadership tag that he had in the ability page here, so you can no longer use him with White Fox in this uniform specifically. All of his other uniforms that are hero based, you can see he still has the leadership tag, so you can use him with White Fox. However, now that he's a villain, now that he's converted to the ranks of Hydra, hail Hydra, right? He can no longer use White Fox in leadership, so that may hurt him a little bit in terms of damage output. We'll have to wait and see. However, he's now a villain and he has this Cosmic Cube tag, which is something similar to Thanos, Silver Surfer, and who else is it? Actually, Red Skull has that as well. Red Skull has this as well, because obviously he's using the Cosmic Cube. That's why he's so much stronger now, right? And in addition to that, in World Boss, I was testing it out last night. I did a couple World Boss runs on the beta with a couple characters, just feeling them out a little bit. And I noticed, let me show you guys real quick. Actually, I didn't run against Cull. I think I did Ebony. And yeah, let me show you guys real quick. So right here, you can see Red Skull, Captain America, they now join the ranks of Thanos and Silver Surfer, so they give you that 12% against superhero and supervillain, so that's actually really useful. And they're the type that come in when you get attacked, so you could supplement them with people like Weapon X and Negasonic and Rachel, right? That way you can control who comes out and when they come out. So that's something for you guys to keep in mind. You now have more options, and they're universally useful. You can use them when you're going up against the mutant bosses or when you're going up against the Black Warrior. So that's actually really, really good. Anyways, moving on. Uniform options, that's what we're here for. So right here, not the best uniform in the game, but it's the best uniform for Punisher, one that I have. I enjoyed playing with it. If you're a Punisher fan, I would say pick this up or wait for my guy Frank K to get something better in the future. Okay, moving on. Colossus, an absolute must buy. This guy's always in timeline. He's very, very valuable as a support character, and he's actually pretty good as a standalone unit as well. Moving on, this is not a good uniform for Logan, but Logan is just not that good, unfortunately, right? Anyways, moving on. This one right here, She-Hulk. She-Hulk is really good in this uniform, but again, her value as a character comes from her leadership. However, if you want to make this version of Captain America as strong as possible, I'd ideally recommend getting the dodge as a stat here, because then you can give him a CTP of rage and max out the dodge on it. So that's just something for you to keep in mind. Last one here is Mysterio. Very, very good uniform. So this one right here has a couple duds, but also has a couple bangers as well. Moving on, we have the good old doctor. Now, there's a couple things you guys wanted to know about him. You can see he has the Sinister Six. Actually, he had this before. I don't know why people are asking about it, but he has the Sinister Six tag, right? And let me show you guys the uniform options. And we're also going to take a look at his awakening skill later. So, okay, so first uniform is Spider-Man Far From Home. One of the best uniforms for Spidey. Ideally, though, the black one is better. Moving on, we have the team suit for Rhodey here. Again, a good uniform, but unfortunately I needed something better from Rhodey. And we have the Captain Marvel uniform. It would have been better if it was the Endgame one and not the one from the movie, because that one's a little bit better, but this one ain't bad either. And most of the people who were playing when she got this uniform already have it, and you probably already have it at Mythic. The good part is this is a Synergy uniform with her Endgame uniform, so if you have her Endgame uniform and you buy this one, it's going to immediately be at Mythic, so you won't have to redo it. Alright, next up is my main man, Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099. Lays down the work in Future Fight. An amazing uniform. Love the character in it, and I would highly recommend that. Moving on, we have Miss Sue Storm, aka Invisible Woman. Not necessarily a uniform that you need to buy. It definitely upgrades the character, but she can work without it. However, if you pick it up, I wouldn't say it's a total waste of money. Alright, so yeah. Moving on, we have this one right here. This is the only one that I actually have to do any work to, and they were gracious enough to actually bless me with a couple of these. I wish I had 17 of these things on my own account. I would not spend it this way, because Crossbones, you can actually get bios for him from Shadowland and a multitude of different places, like even in Invasion. You can also buy his biometric in the Dimension shop, so I would not drop a ticket on him on my own account, but just for time's sake, I decided I wanted to do it this way, and I'll show you guys the stats. I'll re-roll the stats when I actually take them into content in a future video, but this is just to give you guys the option so you can start working on them. I don't have the team suit for Hulk, unfortunately. I have the other one because I don't like the team suit, the way how it looks. All right, moving on, we have Beast. Sad. So far, I mean, I have this uniform and I've been working on it, right? But this is just two duds right here. Luckily, we have Cyclops in here to the rescue. That's a great uniform. Moving on, we have Betsy, another great uniform. And then we have Pietro, Marvel Legacy, a great uniform. So 3 out of 5 are really good. This one, I would say, is probably the worst one here. Actually, Beast is the worst one. What am I saying? Beast is pure garbage. Okay. Now, next thing we got to talk about. A couple of you guys were asking about the World Boss entry, but we already went in there. You've seen it. It's still 5, right? And another thing that you guys were asking about, because you've seen it on a couple of the Star Agents in their videos, I don't know if this is going to come in the next update, but there is an extreme mode for Danger Room incoming. No idea how that's going to work. Maybe the boss is going to be more difficult. Maybe you're only going to be able to play with your alliance members or your friends, and that way it will be more restrictive. I don't know, right? But that's something for you guys to keep in mind. Hopefully, though, if there's one thing they do is buff the rewards. It makes no sense to bring in another version of Danger Room that people are probably not going to be playing if you don't buff the rewards. Right, moving on. Dimension missions, they actually changed the layout of how it looks a little bit, and I actually really like it. Let me go into missions here. Fat fingers. So you can see on the left side here, it actually shows you the support characters. And this is actually really good, because sometimes I'll come in and I'll clear ticket stuff and I don't actually click on this to see which character is the bio sub, and then I'll see that, oh, it's a character that I don't even care for. Maybe I should have actually gone in and just re-rolled this thing one time, and then I could have actually gotten some premium buys for a character that I actually care for. So I like that the layout is different. The shop is basically the same. They haven't added anything else. I would have really liked if they added uniform XP chips. That would be really dope, or regular XP chips as well, right? But everything else is pretty much the same. All the characters that were here before the update are still here, and no additions were made from what I can see. All right, next thing I want to talk about is the new uniform collection, because there is going to be a new uniform collection. Let me go here and uniform collection, just so you guys can know what's up. There's one here for Hydra, and I think we have this thing done. Like, I could register them all right now, but it's fine. You guys can see for yourself. So basically, it's just going to be all the new uniforms that come in, and if you max them out day one, you get 375 crystals. Honestly, there's no need to rush, but from what I can see, all these uniforms are going to end up at Mythic for me and for, I would say, at least 90% of the player base, because they are really good. So I would say, if you want an extra like 375 crystals, try to rush it, save up all your bios as quickly as possible, and get it done in I think it's gonna be like a 2-week period. That's usually what it is, and I think you can get these uniforms to Mythic that quickly, especially since, what is it, all of them are free to play characters. You can literally get like, what, 600 bios for them in like a couple days, right? You could definitely get all these uniforms to Mythic day one. All right, moving on. Next thing we got to talk about is the awakening skill and the requirement for these guys. So first and foremost, there is no requirement that I can see for Red Skull. Initially, people were thinking that this was going to be linked to Crossbones and Sin. It seems like it's just going to be for Red Skull, and this is really good, and it's something I spoke about briefly in a previous video, where I was saying this may be the way they bring in a different tier of power into Marvel for you to fight, where some characters that may never get tier 3 because they don't get that spotlight in a movie, or they're just not that powerful in the comics, right? They get a power-up that is almost as good as a tier 3, and this is just their thing, and it's not tied to anyone else. Just like how you guys are gonna see over here, you are not required, from what I can see, to have any of the other members of the Sinister Six. Even though Vulture is here, I don't think you're gonna need to have him or have him at level 60, like how you needed to have the Warriors of the Sky unlock in level 60. We may see changes when the patch notes drop, so just keep that in mind, okay? Nothing is set in stone yet, but from what I can see, there is no requirement. However, I might not be seeing a requirement because I have all the characters where they need to be on this test account, okay? Every character is already unlocked, and most of them are at level 70, so it may be that because these characters are at level 60 or tier 2 or level 70, that I'm not seeing a requirement that could potentially be there. But for now, I'm not seeing anything that says these characters are linked to anybody else. Right, let's actually go ahead and let's level up these awakened skills and see what it is. So for me, Red Skull just looks really good because he has the mind control and the damage received increase. So the only problem I can see with this skill is the damage may not be that high, but the buff looks really good. Like, my goodness, let's get it up to level 60. Wow, fear. Yeah, there's so much here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so oh my goodness, look at all that. So applies to enemies 10 seconds of fear, 7 seconds of mind control, plus 20% increase. Oh my goodness, right? Then we have a 50% crit rate buff, crit damage buff, ignore dodge, invincibility, removes all debuffs, increased damage, all attack by 50%, all defense by 50%. This is a tier 3 skill if I ever seen one, right? Just imagine if one of these characters ever get tier 3 after. This is why I said, like, some of these characters that are getting awakens, they may never get tier 3 because there's gonna need to be some serious balancing like applied to these characters, especially since these buffs, like, look at the 50% attack buff. That's lasting for a solid 40 seconds. when this skill actually gets affected by skill cooldown. So basically, every 30 seconds, you're going to be able to use this skill. Oh my gosh. Anyways, let's take a look at Dr. Octopus and see if his is equally as good. I'm looking at Red Skull and he's looking dangerous. Boy, a lot of heroes gonna bite the dust. Let's not forget that Red Skull always had one of the better passives, like tier 2 passives in the game, right? That 120% increased damage to superhero, stacked it on top of a 50% all attack buff and this uniform that gives him a whopping 60% all attack right there. Do the math. That's big boy numbers. You know what I'm saying? Also, there's something that I want to point out to you guys really quickly that I didn't point out in my previous video, but I did the testing, and I'm going to show you guys real quickly. So right here, right, use the fort. You can see me moving the D-pad. Nothing, right? However, when you go Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, aka Super Saiyan Blue, check this out. Check the flex. What? That's right, boys. That's right. D-pad movement. You know what I'm saying? Red Skull is a day one mythic if I ever seen one. Like, there's no way his damage cannot be good with all of these buffs. It may take a lot of materials to make him into like a god tier character, but I'm willing to put it in if he's gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, among the best in the game. Anyways, let's take a look at the good old Doc. I think the Doc is gonna be good, so I don't want to undersell him, but like, man. So okay, let's go all the way up. Wow, damage accumulation there. I did not see that coming. Okay, so decreases physical defense of target by 30%, decreases lightning resistance, decreases mine resistance, 50% crit rate, 50% crit damage, ignore dodge, invincibility, removes all debuffs, damage accumulation based on damage dealt, not damage received, 50. Wow, so he has a mixture of Red Skull awakening skill. Man, these awakening skills to me seem like they're a little bit better than the ones that we got for the Warriors of the Sky. And I'm kind of happy with how they look in terms of the stat buffs that they're offering. We'll just have to wait and see if the damage on the skills are actually that good. I should have probably tested them out at level 1 to see what the damage looks like compared to level 6, but I'll do that on my own account. I just kind of wanted to see all the buffs now because it might take me a little while to get them all to level 6 on my own account because I wasn't keeping track of all the materials that got consumed to get here. Also, a couple of you guys were hitting me up about ABX getting changes. From what I can see, all they did was just restructure the reward page and basically just lowered the cap for ABX, right? I'm not sure if that's just a test server thing or if it's actually like what's gonna happen in the live build. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't want to go in here and make this video longer than it needs to be. So we're gonna wrap it up right here. Leave me your thoughts in the comments, man. And I will catch you guys in the next one.